So I want to do a special, it's actually part of our last lecture, but I actually want to do a different video related just to the edge. And it's on conversion between units. And it's really simple, it messes people up all the time. But notice, if we've been doing it all the time, if x is equal to 5, then 3x is equal to 3 times 5. So that's the same exact principle we're going to be using when we convert between units. So let's start with a really basic one. You want to convert, say, between inches, which I'm going to do inches with IN, and centimeters. Which I'm going to denote by CM. So what you do is you just look up a table and you find out 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. So the question is, how many centimeters is 12 inches, which is the same thing as how many centimeters are in 1 foot. Well, I have 1 inch here, so if I multiply 12 on this side and multiply 12 on the other side, I get the result. And for this one, we're going to go ahead and use our calculator because it's about 12 times 2.54. It turns out that's 30.48 centimeters. Well, suppose you wanted to go the other direction. Suppose you want to go from centimeters to inches. Well, you have the equation right here. 1 inch is equal to 25 centimeters. So if I divide both sides by 2.54, 1 divided by 2.54 inches is equal to 1 centimeter. So 1 centimeter is equal to 1 divided by 2.54 inches. No need to put a C. So how many is 100 centimeters? So I multiply both sides by 100. If you want, you can put this in parentheses and multiply both sides by 100, which is the same as just putting 100 up there. So 100 centimeters is equal to 100 divided by 2.54. And again, we can go ahead and get out our calculator for this. And we want it at 100. It's going to be a little bit less than 50 divided by 2.54. And we have, oh yeah, quite a bit less, 39.37. So that's basically pretty much a major application right there from algebra. Now in the book, we want to go from 13 square feet. So this symbol, FT squared, is square feet. So there's a cool thing we do in units all the time. If I have a unit of measurement like foot, for example, if I have a square, and one side is 12 feet, and the other side is 12 feet, then the area is 144. Remember, the area is everything in here. The area is equal to 12 feet times 12 feet. So I multiply 12 times 12 to get me 144. And feet, the unit feet times feet, gives me feet squared. So the book, or at least this chapter in our exercises, says if I'm given 13 feet squared, how much is that in inches squared? So let's start right here with, let's get a conversion factor. So feet squared is the same as 1 foot times 1 foot. And we know that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So I'm going to replace 1 foot with 12 inches there. And I get that 1 foot squared is equal to 144 inches squared. So that's what is going to be my start. I'm going to have 1 square foot is equal to 144 square inches. This wants to know how many 13 feet is. So I just multiply both sides by 13. And the equality is preserved. So that gives me 13 square feet is equal to 13 times 144. And that's 1,872 square inches. Not so bad. You just break things up into really simple patterns. So in our worksheet, the next thing, we were given 8,640 square inches, and they want to know how many square feet is that. Well, remember, inches squared is 1 inch times 1 inch. And we know that 1 inch is equal to 12 feet. So if I divide both sides by 12, I get 1/12 of an inch is equal to 1 foot. Since I'm converting to feet squared, I'm going to convert 1 inch is to 1/12 is 1/12 foot times 1/12 of a foot. So I get 1/144 feet squared is equal to 1 inch squared. So that may have been confusing for you, so let me go down here. So 1 inch times 1 inch is equal to 1/12 of a foot times 1/12 of a foot. So 1 inch times 1 inch is 1 inch squared. And 1/12 times 1/12 is 144. Feet times feet is feet squared. And we want to know how many 8,640 inches squared is. So I hope you can see what to do now. Right here is our formula. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 8,640. When I multiply this side times 8,640, that's supposed to be squared. I get 8,640 square inches is equal to 8,640 divided by 144 square feet. And here again we'll use our calculator. Got it in the advanced mode. I'm using the advanced mode for my college algebra class. So that's equal to 60 it's supposed to be feet, square feet. And let's do one last one. So I want to know, convert between 60 miles per hour is equal to how many feet per second. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this as a ratio. That's 60 miles. And let's just go ahead and, it's kind of confusing because if I write m, everyone thinks meters, so I'm just going to write miles per 1 hour. I will abbreviate hour. And that's equal to how many feet per 1 second. So what I have to do is convert miles to feet and hours to second. Well, if you look up in the internet, I used to do this all the time when I worked part-time civil engineering, we find 1 mile is equal to 528 feet. So if I multiply both sides by 60, I'll never leave myself enough room. I get 60 miles is equal to 60 times 5,280 feet. So I'm going to write that up there. Notice I didn't bother to multiply it out. I have a sneaky suspicion I don't want to multiply it out. So I'm going to write that as 60 times 5,280. So now I have to do hours to second. So 1 hour is equal to 60. Since we're doing 1 hour to 1 second, maybe we should do second to how many hours? No, 1 hour is equal to how many seconds? 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. We have to do it that way. I'm just going to write out minutes, okay? And 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So let me get some room. So that means one hour is equal to 60 minutes, but 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So this is 60 times 1 minute. So 1 hour is equal to 3,600 seconds. But I don't want to write it that way. I just want to write it as 60 times 60. Why do I want to write it as 60 times 60? Because I have a 60 in my top. So this is equal to 60 times, since it's times 1 second, I'm just going to turn that 1 into 60. 60 times 60 times 1 second. Now the 60s cancel, And 5280 divided by 60 turns out to be 88 feet per second. So basically, the summary is, literally, when I knew that x is equal to, say, 7, I can convert. It doesn't hurt me if that's a unit. X is equal to 7 light years. And let's say x is equal to, and I'm just making this up, something else in a unit. It has to be one of them. 1 astronomical unit. Then I can convert 8 astronomical units, and there is a conversion between astronomical units and light years. It's not equal to 1 light year, 7 light years though. It's equal to 8 times 7 light years. So basically it's all the same stuff, is just using the principle of multiplication. If x is equal to 7, then 8x is equal to 8 times 7, which is 56. And that's it for our unit conversions.